Great. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for being so positive.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you for saying that.
I appreciate it.
Raising quarter of our whole campaign. We'll announce our numbers very soon.
Senator, you said several times today that warning Democrats against focusing too much on Donald Trump and their dislike for Donald Trump. Do you think voters in New Hampshire and Iowa are focusing too much on who can beat Donald Trump when they take a look at a candidate such as yourself?
Well, just as an American, the first and foremost thing is you got to beat people. And there's an urgency that I think all of us feel. I think there's a fear. 4 more years of Donald Trump, a climate denier, for example, in the White House. We have 10, 12 years to deal with this crisis, or scientists are saying we're going to see unavoidable consequences will have devastating impact on our planet. So I understand that sense of urgency, but the question is how we win. Now, I took on a political machine in New York. There's an Oscar-nominated documentary, as I said, called Street Fight. I know how to bring fights, but you don't bring fights by being like that person that you're trying to, like the person you're trying to beat. We need someone who can inspire this nation to come together, inspire people. Because right now, think about this. If African American voters had turned out the same level in 2016 as they did in 2012, we would have a President Hillary Clinton right now. We need somebody who's going to be able to draw out the fullness of the Obama coalition to beat Donald Trump. And that's what I know I can do. But more than that, beating Donald Trump is a floor, it's not the ceiling. I'm in this race not just to beat Donald Trump, but we have big problems to solve. We need the person who can best create the kind of national movement and coalitions to deal with healthcare, climate change, gun violence, an economy that is twisted against most Americans and benefiting other wealth.
Julian Castro read a left place today. What are your thoughts on it?
I talked to Julian Castro. Julian is a friend, but he's an extraordinary leader and ran a campaign that challenged the conscience of this country, brought issues to bear that were urgently needed. And so I'm frustrated that we're seeing another person drop out before the people actually even vote because he doesn't have the money that some of the billionaires in the race do. And yet he's one of the few diverse voices we had left in the campaign. We cannot win this campaign without that full Obama coalition. Black and brown voters are essential. And to see people dropping out before the people have even spoken, that's problematic. And so I'm fighting I'm going to stay in this race, but I'm fighting to show people that we can elect leaders, not based upon their bank account, but based upon their connections with folks. I hope people will support me and go to CoryBooker.com.
Senator, just to follow up on that, why do you Andrew Yang mentioned on the debate stage, perhaps voters of color cannot levels?
Look, I think there's a lot of analysis that should be done about a DNC system being created that can be basically hacked by billionaires to get on the stage more easily than people like Kamala Harris, one of the second black woman ever in the Senate, who was elected by a state of over 40 million people, twice statewide, who has an extraordinary record, who petered out because she didn't have the resources. And that sent a signal. I had black women in my life say to me that they were supporting me, but really angry and frustrated that she didn't even get a chance to make it to Iowa where people could actually vote one way or the other, or caucus one way or the other. This is a problem for our party, that incredibly talented people like Julian Castro are dropping out because of money, because we're basing we should all talk about the fact that we are in a nation where money is corrupting our politics. So why should the Democratic Party design a system that can be so easily hacked by billionaires? And so I'm in this race. And I'm fighting to be the one that wants to say over and over again, we need the full Rainbow Coalition, the full Obama coalition, in order to beat Donald Trump and send Mitch McConnell back to the backbenches. We need people through their lived experiences that can connect to all Americans. And so I'm fighting to make sure that I not only stay in the race, but that to show, like Obama did, that you can win in Iowa, that you can do well here in New Hampshire, and that you can actually energize this country to have record elections, a record turnout. I believe I'm the best person to do that, and I hope folks will help me.
And you've been so outspoken on climate change. I just wanted to ask, the other day, former Vice President Joe Biden said that coal miners should learn programming and that that's a solution to them losing jobs. I'm wondering if you believe in government retraining programs. You've been in the Senate for a while, and what alternatives there are for folks who are losing their jobs because of the green economy.
I believe in a just transition. And if our party can't talk directly the oil industries, if we don't have a message for them that inspires them and creates hope for them and their children. I talked to somebody in one of my town halls who had 3 generations of people in the oil business and said, what are you going to say to my brothers and sisters? These are their jobs. We have got to find exciting options for everybody as we transition off fossil fuels. If we don't do that, our party is, I think, betraying the working class people that should be at the core of our party. So yeah, my policies support a just transition, that we should not be turning our back on people who literally have been providing the energy that we've needed to run our country for generations. And so my vision for that is fundamentally about finding ways to make sure that we have apprenticeship programs, training programs that don't put your salaries down to minimum wage, but keep you on a just level and help you transition into a clean energy economy.
So even now, a lot of the questions now are about money. So how hard is it to get your message out there when so many of the questions are, how much longer can you keep in the race?
I mean, that's the unfortunate thing, that the metrics that often we see people paying attention to, like national polling, I mean, the amount of time we spend talking about national polling when it's never been predictive. Never been. November, December of this year, people who've been leading in the polls at that point have never gone on to the White House from our party. Bill Clinton, single digits. Jimmy Carter, single digits. Barack Obama, 15, 20 points behind Hillary Clinton. Our presidents are always seen underdogs who come from behind, peak late, and win. That's exactly what our campaign's doing. The surge we're seeing in online contributions, the surge we're seeing in our rises in net favorability, popularity, is all happening right now, which is the time that past presidents have seen the takeoff of their numbers. So I'm frustrated that a lot of the issues that I think are important to our core base voters aren't even getting the fair share of discussion. And we're focusing on metrics that really have never been really that determinative. And so I'm going to stay in this race. I'm going to keep bringing up the issues of marginalized communities. I'm going to keep bringing up issues of the people who are often overlooked or left behind in our politics, and keep bringing them to the center of the consciousness of our country. Because whether you're a black transgender and fearful because of the outrageous numbers of murders last year, whether you're a mother raising a child, and one of the presidential candidates talked about the outrageously high levels of child poverty, whether you are a person that fears for your child's life just by driving cars because of the high levels of police-involved shootings of unarmed people in our country. These are issues that we should be talking about, because this is a nation, at the end of the day, we're all interwoven in one destiny, and injustice anywhere has been said by greater people than me. It's a threat to justice everywhere. We need leaders through their lived experience that can talk to the fullness of the concerns of all the people in the Democratic Party coalition and our nation.
Senator, you yourself just said that now is the important out there grow and peak. Pretty soon, it looks like there may be a Senate impeachment trial that will be keeping senators off the trail. Are you concerned that the media focus on impeachment will make it difficult for a candidate like yourself break through? And how specifically are you going to try to make up for that? You have a lot of endorsements in New Hampshire. So does that look like surrogates? Does that look like weekend travel?
Look, let's just put aside this idea. Trial, there's a sacred obligation, I'll be there. The question is about what the impact of my campaign is. It's clear. The biggest persuasion we have, and we saw it in this room when people are coming up to say, I was supporting candidate X now, and clearly for me to be out there on the campaign trail. It's how I beat Michigan and Newark. It's how we're going to win this election in places like Iowa and New Hampshire. And so it's critically important. And if I have to be in Washington, D.C., that's when we become more reliant on surrogates. And yes, we are one of the top 2 or 3 campaigns in the whole field in endorsements in New Hampshire and Iowa. It means that we have to find ways to raise money, so we have digital and TV ads. That's why online contributions right now for our campaign are really critical for us to compete with people that don't have to be in the Senate or that have billions of dollars to spend on this campaign. The only way I'm going to win this, and I knew this from the beginning, is going to be by relying on Americans to support my campaign. We've been seeing a surge in that. I'm excited about it, but now, obviously, if I'm down in Washington for a week or 2, during this critical period going into the early caucuses and primaries, we're just going to have to do like I did back in the days when I put a call out for $1.7 million. And people help me raise significantly more than that. If you want me in this race, if you want my voice in this race, please, if this is the most important election of our lifetime, we got to start acting like it, support the candidates you believe in, and I'm hoping that the American people will understand that I have to do my job, but we'll still find ways to support them.
Great, thank you, everybody.
Thanks for being so positive.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
I appreciate it.